So we'll go to this thing. I'll go with the majority of the things, guys. Most of the people agreed. 2 people said they wanted a break. Okay. So I'll go with the majority. Okay. Going to 2014. When marginal product of the short run production of a firm is 0. When MP is 0, what can you say, guys? I'll take the diagram from my tute as well. Wait. When marginal product is 0, where is the diagram? This is the diagram. Right? Yes, what can you say? When the marginal product is 0, that is here. Okay, this point that I'm marking in green. Then MP is 0. Total product is maximized. Is the total product at its maximum point when MP is 0? Yes. Total product is at maximum point, right? Average product is at its maximum. When MP is 0, is this the maximum point of AP? No, right? AP is maximized here, no? Not here. So second is wrong. Average cost is minimized. When this is an average product and average cost will kind of this thing, right? So no. These mirror images, you need to know. Marginal cost is minimized? No, marginal cost is minimized when the marginal product is at its maximum. Remember the mirror image, when this is at its highest only, MC is at low. No. And then marginal cost is minimized. So what is the other one? Marginal cost is marginal for minimized and marginal product equals average. No, right? So we can go with this answer. Is that okay, guys? Answer number 1. If you know the diagram, you can easily figure that out. No, when MP is 0, TP is at its maximum. This is a basic theory area that we learn. Fine. Answer number 1. Going to the next. Meaning of law of returns to scale. Yes, what is law of returns to scale? This is the law governing the long run production. What does this say? Law of returns to scale means a way of changing total output of the firm to a change in price of inputs. A way of changing total output of a firm when variable inputs are changed while holding at least one input constant. The way of changing total output to a change in technology. The way of changing total output to a change in the quality of inputs. The way of changing total output of the firm when all inputs are changed. Think long run, what are they talking about? That what is this law of returns to scale talking about? They are saying when all the inputs of the firm change, how will the output change? Then only you have a decreasing returns to scale, increasing returns to scale. You have all of those subcategories. Answer is number 5. This is purely the definition of law of returns to scale. Moving to the next. Okay. The shape of the total cost curve of a firm is determined by what? What can you say? Now, this is the fixed cost, total fixed cost. This is the total variable cost. How is the total cost look like? Total cost is like this. So the shape of the total cost curve depends on what kind. What does it look like? It's decided by what? By the behavior of FC, change in technology, ATC. What is this? Behavior of the total variable cost, right? So your total cost curve looks like your total variable cost curve. So the shape of the total cost curve is determined by the shape of the total variable cost. So answer is number 4. Very easy MCQ. Going to the next. Yes, why do you think the 2014 paper has a lot of MCQ from unit number 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 MCQ. Guesses? Because there is no question in paper 2. There is no unit 4 question in paper 2. Go and check. There is no question. So these are signs, right? So usually when you see the paper 1, I can predict what comes to paper 2, but I usually don't do that. Because if it goes wrong, what happens is people start scolding me after teaching everything, right? When I look at paper 1, I can tell you what will come for paper 2. Last year also, I knew look at paper 1 that subsidy is going to come for paper 2, but I didn't tell my students, because if I tell my students beforehand, they will only study subsidy and they will not study anything else. Just in case if something else comes, what happens? Right? The fellows will start cursing me, right? This fellow said subsidy is surely going to come one day before, right? That's going to happen. So, I make it a little bit safer on my end, right? That's why there is a lot of MCQs here, guys. Okay, even if the AFC of a firm continuously decreases with the increase in output, it never becomes zero. Why is that? The average fixed cost, it goes down and down and down and down and down and down, but it never becomes zero. Why? It never touches that line. How do you calculate AFC? AFC is total fixed cost, or the fixed cost divided by the number of units. No, so no matter, now this is your units, no matter how many units you produce, why does the AFC never become zero? The AFC never becomes zero because there is a fixed cost here. No? So let's say fixed cost is 10 rupees. So even if you produce, let's say 100 million units, right? 100 million 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? Your AFC will still not be zero, no? It will be 0.0000000 something one. Yeah. So why does your average fixed cost never become zero? Because there is always a fixed cost. So whatever cost, as long as now in the short run, there is a fixed component. No? So there is always a fixed cost. So even if you produce 1 billion number of units, your average fixed cost will never be zero. Got it? So why is that? Even though it is decreasing, why will it never be zero? Because answer number 5, because there is always a fixed cost. Is that clear? Yeah. Step. Next one. The short run supply curve of a firm is very easy, guys. These are basic things that are coming from direct theory. Yeah? Short run supply curve of a firm is what? The marginal cost curve above AVC, rising part of the AVC curve, rising part of MC curve, rising part of ATC curve, MC curve above AVC. What is the short run supply curve? Very simple. We learn this at the end. When we learn shutdown price, you learn this diagram here. What's the answer, guys? The short run supply curve is the one that is highlighted in purple here, right? Not purple, like a little bit of pinkish. Yeah. So the short run supply curve is the marginal cost curve above the AVC. This one, guys. It's the marginal cost curve, not the rising part, because the rising part comes from here itself. Not that. So remember, if you can't even cover your average variable cost, you will shut down. So only above this average variable cost, there is a supply, guys. So the answer is number 1, marginal cost curve above the average variable cost. Okay, so it's answer number 1. I don't have space here, so I'll just leave it here, right? It's answer number 1. Is that okay, guys? You all remember shutdown price? Take some time and go through. When I get a essay question, I will explain how does this work. But for now, take some time and go through until the next class. Final fifth. When there are few large firms, okay, this is a very easy one. If you have not fallen asleep, please give me an answer. Okay, few large firms selling homogeneous or differentiated products. It is known as what? Few large firms selling homogeneous or differentiated. Duopoly, monopolistic competition, perfect competition, oligopolistic competition, monopolistic competition. What is this? Few large firms. All of you all guys, give me an answer if you're not falling asleep, so that I know that you're there. I have around 30 answers. Others? But still some answers are wrong. Most of you all have got it correct. Yes, when there are few large firms, what do we call this? This is a oligopoly, right? It's not a monopolistic competitive with a few large firms. So where do you have few large firms? In oligopoly. In a monopoly, you have one firm. In monopolistic competition, you have a lot of firms. In a perfect competition, you have very, very lot of firms, right? Very large. So few large firms are there. You have in oligopolistic competition. Guys, what is a duopoly? We don't have it in our syllabus, but what is it? Duopoly. Think of the word itself, duo. What does duo mean? This is where you have two firms dominating the market. Right? You only have two firms. That's what you call a duo. It's not in our syllabus, don't worry. Okay. Right. Next one. Monopolistic is differentiated. Yes, monopolistic is differentiated. Correct. But not few large firms. Demand curve for a perfectly okay, this is a very easy one. Demand curve for a perfectly competitive firm is perfectly elastic because why is the firm perfectly elastic? Why is the demand curve perfectly elastic? I told you this. Because the firm is what? Because the firm is a price taker, right? Because the firm is a price taker, they have a perfectly elastic demand curve. Why are they a price taker? The three reasons that I told you. Homogeneous products, large number of suppliers, perfect information. Because they are a price taker, and given that they are a price taker, they have a perfectly elastic demand curve. So what is the answer? Answer number 3. Right? Not a price maker, they are a price taker. They can't make their own price. Last 2. Okay, this one, guys, a monopoly firm can decide. Okay, these questions someone asked as well. Yes, monopoly and all of it, what kind of demand curve will they have? Upward sloping or downward sloping or parallel or what? They'll have a normal downward sloping firm. Now, a monopoly firm is a firm, they are the only people in the market. They don't have competition, right? So what can they do, guys? Can they decide the price of the good only, price or quantity, quantity only, both price and quantity? What do you all think, guys? Price only, quantity only, or price or quantity, price and quantity, both. Because you know how it works. They can only decide one of this. You know what? Now let's say Sri Lanka Railways. Sri Lanka Railways is a monopoly. Now let's say they want to charge a high price, right? They want to charge a high ticket price. So when they decide to charge a high ticket price, automatically, because of law of demand, the number of consumers consuming rail services will fall down. So when they decide the price, quantity they can't decide. They can't decide I will sell higher price or higher quantity, can't, because automatically people will stop buying. So if they decide the price, they don't have control on the quantity. But let's say they decide I want to sell a higher quantity. Now they decided on the quantity, let's say. They decided, okay, we want to provide railway services for 100,000 Sri Lankan citizens. They decide on the quantity. But then automatically what happens? To provide it for 100,000, yeah, the price will go down. They can't decide this. So if they decide the price, quantity is not on their hand. If they decide the quantity, price is not on their hand. So they can decide either one of this. So they can't decide both. They can decide only either the price or the quantity. Is that clear? Either the price they can decide or the quantity. You can't do both. Right? You can't go and you can't say I want a higher price and higher quantity both there. Okay, you can't do that. If you decide you want a higher price, quantity will go low. People will stop buying. If you decide you want to sell a higher quantity, then automatically you want to sell it at a lower price. You don't have control over the price. Okay. Right. Final question for the day. Okay. Condition that should be satisfied at the equilibrium of a firm. I taught you all equilibrium. What should be there, guys? So equilibrium is like your profit maximizing point. You can even say when you're at normal testing, what should happen? MR equals MC when MC is increasing, MR equals MC when MC is decreasing, MR equals MC at the minimum point of MC, MR equals MC when average cost is increasing, MR equals MC when average cost is. What do you think, guys? This is your marginal cost, goes up and goes down like this is MR. Which one? Which one is your profit maximizing point? You have two MR equals MCs here. This is MC, this is MR. There is MR equals MC here, there is MR equals MC in this purple point also. Which is the equilibrium, green or the purple? the profit maximizing or the equilibrium point is when MR equals MC, when the MC curve is rising, when the MC is increasing. Now, this is also, now the green one here also is MR equals MC, guys. But is this the profit maximizing point? No. So profit maximizing or the equilibrium point is where MR is equal to MC, but MC is rising. Okay, so that is this purple one. So the answer will be this. Is that okay? 2014, the questions were comparatively easy though, nothing hard. How much did you all get? There were 9 MCQs. How much out of 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 9, 7. Why can't it be the third one? MR equals MC at the minimum point of MC. No, the minimum point of MC is here. You don't have MR equals MC here. Okay. Right. Okay. So, so far so good. But I feel, guys, comparatively, the knowledge that you all have in Unit 4 is comparatively less. So, I'm not teaching theory here. Okay. So, based on the answers that you all have given, I felt that, the knowledge that you all have is comparatively low. So, look into going through your theory notes and all of it. And like I always say, if you have no way of covering the theory, you can always purchase my theory class recordings. If you're a student of mine, you already have that. You can always go back and purchase the theory class recordings per unit at 1,800. So there will be around 8 sessions, let's say. So 16 hours of recordings with a tute printed and sent to your doorstep, you can cover it up. But that is only if you don't have a way. Don't just purchase and collect, no point. Okay, so if you have no way of covering, it's a way cheaper method than going for an individual class or something and getting it covered. So if you don't have, you can cover it up that way also. So there is no excuse to say that, well, I don't know unit number 8 and I have no way of covering. If you have no way of covering, you always can purchase the theory class recording and get that done. Okay. Model paper, no, I did not make it for grade 12 yet. I'm making it. Okay, so with that, we'll wrap things up. If anyone has questions, you can stay and clarify. See you guys. I'll see you all next week with the 2015 paper. See you. Bye-bye.